Registered Dietitian and Blenderized tube feeding expert, and this is Natural Tube Feeding. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about 5 foods that don't blend well. I've been creating Blenderized tube feeding recipes for years, and I've learned the hard way that there are some foods that can ruin a blend. Make sure you watch to the end because food number 5 I think is going to surprise you. You'll have to wait and see. Alright, let's start the list. Food number 1 is hard dried fruits. Those would be things like dried apricots and dried mangoes and raisins. If you really want to have those fruits in your diet, what you can do is chop them up and soak them with water for several hours or even overnight. That should make them soft enough to blend well. Or you could try using softer dried fruits, things like prunes or dates, because they're able to be blended up in most blenders without any difficulty. Of course, you can also just use fresh fruit instead, so keep that in mind. Food number 2 is nuts. Hard nuts, such as almonds for example, can be really hard to break down into small enough particle sizes for tube feeding, even in the most powerful blender. So what I suggest you use instead is softer nuts, for example pecans or walnuts. Or you can always use nut butter instead. Food number 3 is tough meat. Now obviously you can't just take an overcooked piece of steak and throw it into a blender and expect it to blend well. What I suggest you use is ground meat or tender cooked meats because they should be able to be manageable in most blenders. You can also use fish with all the bones removed and use other sources of protein that are naturally soft, for example scrambled eggs, tofu, or beans and legumes. Food number 4 are berries with hard seeds, for example blackberries and raspberries. The seeds are small, but they're very hard and difficult for any blender to break down entirely. So if you want to have those berries in your diet, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you strain your blend. Alright, we've made it to food number 5, and this is the one that I think will surprise you because it actually blends no problem. But it can totally overpower your blend. Can you guess what it is? I'll tell you. It's garlic. Even the smallest amount of raw garlic can be so powerful that it can really overwhelm your blend. So if you're a big garlic fan, go ahead and use it, but if you're not so sure, just start with a really tiny amount. Alright, we've made it to the end of the list. Thank you so much for watching. And if there's any foods that I've missed that you found do not blend well, I'd love to hear them. So please leave me a comment below so that we can all learn from each other. And if you're interested in more Blenderized tube feeding information, make sure you subscribe, or you can head over to naturaltubefeeding.com. I've got lots of resources and information there. Alright, I hope to see you soon. Bye.